One of the questions we often hear about is understanding the investment in the automation program. There are many audiences and angles that come into play here. The executive will want to understand the health and potential of the overall program. The department head may want to see efficiencies within their area. The change manager will want to understand process, technology, and how we impact the people, while the technologist may want to know where and how to make corrective actions. All of these people are interested and invested, and all of them need guidance to achieve their desired outcome. If we begin at the highest level, we see a level in aggregate. We start with some basic indicators, such as a bucket of hours saved and an equivalent of those hours represented as dollars. In order to view this, it will require a couple of prerequisite things to happen. An accurate assessment of the manual process must occur. We must also understand and correctly attribute the amount of money tied to that amount of time. We do this through capturing and using process baselines. Keep in mind that what we see here needs to be periodically updated as processes, the time to complete, and the cost information may change as the business evolves. Next, we look at data run through the automation. We do this at the transaction level. We see it as successful transactions passing through the system and where those transactions may fall out. As mentioned, we look at successes, fails. We also look at abandoned processes. We understand these as two major types of exceptions. There are business exceptions and technology exceptions, or application exceptions. Further, we can see this on a daily or monthly basis. This helps us understand any impacts on timing that may correspond or conflict with business cycles. Now it's helpful for us to shine a light on those exception types. Remember, we have two: the business and the technology or application exceptions. What do these tell us? They tell us what and where the opportunities are to improve the business. And on the technology side, we see opportunities in what or where to look at the environment. That is to say, where we see risk or where it is right-sized and set up for success and scale. As we look at the exception detail, we are talking about information such as the exception type, the reason for the exception, and its total number of occurrences. We can also look at individual occurrences, that is to say information at the log level, including a finer level of explanation detail, any custom logging, and the specific date and time stamp. This collection of data points can be used to identify trends, course correct, and help build prescriptive actions for our automation community within the business. Our next level of focus is on utilization. This will show us what's running in production, and in other words, the size and the ability to process transactions. You might also call this the piping, or how efficiently things are flowing through the system. At its low points, we see underutilization and the possible opportunities to build out future automations, while at the highs and peaks, we see what may result in a backlog of processing and processing throughput. Again, we look at date and time as important factors here to help us understand load balancing or any other micro or macro factors that influence our processes and may be impacting our overall success. In conclusion, we see that starting with the big picture view of the program is important when we want to understand aggregate factors such as time freed up for the ability to realign that towards more strategic purpose. We see translating that into financial improvement. By looking deeper into these large directional indicators, we begin to understand our work processes and where we achieve our desired outcomes. We also see where tools are right-sized and the technology is positioned for our current success and our future scale. And with any good tool, an ease of understanding how effectively we use it, and how we can orient our work efforts to know when and where to make improvements.